There is a common question: how does HBase stores data physically on HDFS? And this picture actually shows you that part. So this picture has been taken from a book called HBase: The Definitive Guide from Lars George. So I would highly recommend you read that book, because that book will give you much more detailed information about HBase. But for the time being, I want to summarize what exactly this picture is conveying, and this will give you a lot of clarity how things are working under the hood in HBase. So very first thing is, you remember, like I was saying, HBase is a big table, and here it is storing billions of rows and millions of columns. Not just that, HBase is very good for storing sparse data. So now it's time to clarify how does it store sparse data. So let's say we have this view in the picture, and in this view you can see we have this particular very first part of the picture shows you that these are columns. So let's say these columns indicate user info, and these columns indicate user pictures. So this can be profile picture, this can be cover picture, this is name, or this is age. So these are basically attributes of different column families. This is column family 1 and column family 2 indicated in different colors, right? Here you will see that there are multiple versions of this particular attribute. Let's say this is profile picture, and it has 3 different profile pictures. So this can be like user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4. So different users are there in the row ID, let's say, and we have the attributes of these users, and then we have the cell. So these are cells, and within cell we have different versions. So let's say this user is Bhavuk. So this is my row ID, and Bhavuk is having multiple versions of this profile picture. So this is logical view. Now physically, if you see on HDFS, how does it store? So it will convert this, it will fold it into like a structure which is much more flattened. So it is flattening these things, folding these things, and then finally on the disk you will find that we have files. This is like column family 2, this is column family 1. So we have different files for different column families. So this is like a high level picture, actually a lot of things going on here. But right now just understand the physical storage of different column families are in different files. That's why we are able to do a lot of things. Like if you remember, I was saying column families are very good when we want to do compression, you want to change the block size, and you want to do caching, so many other things that we were discussing. So if we are storing data for different column families in different files, we are not mixing them together, then it is very easy to control all these attributes along with the block size that you want to change for each column family if you want to, right? So important point is, the data when we are storing on HDFS is in the form of multiple files, and these are separate from each other, like when we talk about column families. And second thing is, when we talk about versioning of data, so you can see the different versions of data is getting stored like this. So this is CF2 C1. So you can say CF2 C1, there are 3 versions, different timestamps. So that's how it is indicating the color, you can see. Apart from that, you will also find that the data when we are storing, it is not consuming any space for like the missing. So there are so many things missing in this table. So we are not consuming any space here, which we are storing on the disk. And then you will find that once data is stored in the form of files, you can even change the order of this particular row key, and based on that you can get different kind of performance also, depending on what kind of queries you are having. That is like more related to HBase schema design, but for the time being, just understand if you change this order, it will have the same storage requirement. So you can ignore this part. If you are clear with these 3 things, then I think we are good. So this is what I wanted to share with regards to this particular layout.